to another episode of Everyday Getaways, and this time we are renting a Tesla on the Turo app. We're going to give you a full review of the Tesla and check out and see what it's like driving it from Bozeman to Yellowstone Park, where we drove it around the park for a couple of days. Come along and let's see what it's about.
All right, so we rented a car off Turo. We've heard about that from other YouTubers, folks who've rented specifically in Hawaii. We are in Bozeman, Montana, and we rented a Tesla off of Turo. But check this out. Okay, I've never been in a Tesla before, but I couldn't figure out how to get in the car. It's like a trick handle, but apparently you just push. Boom. All right, so tell us the fancy Tesla inside stuff.
Okay, well, we just checked in, and first of all, our key for the weekend is a card. To drive the car, you tap it down here and press the brake, and it turns the car on for you. But I will say, when we opened the door and hop in, the AC automatically turned on, and we didn't have to do anything else. There's two phone charging ports right here and right here.
And you just lay your phone on it and it charges.
Just set your phone on there, and 65% charge, so it's already charging right there. We've got this really nice touchscreen, and there's all kinds of stuff in here. I want to play around with it some more. But so far, I really like the AC controls. Down here, you tap the temperature, you drag your finger, and that directs where you want the air to hit you. So if you want in the face, come drag it in the middle. If you want to spread it out some, do it wide, and you can check your temperature and all kinds of stuff.
I got a quick question for you. So far, I know that we just got this, but so far, how's your experience been renting with Turo?
So far, so good. He was super nice, called and talked to us on the phone. Check-in was super easy, and I think we're pretty much good to go at this point. It's got 50% battery, so we'll probably hit a charger before we go down to Yellowstone, but we're good for now.
All right. All right, so Doug, I already know the answer to this, but what's your favorite thing about the Tesla so far?
It's so quiet.
Interesting. The back seat of the Tesla is more comfy and much more spacious than the airplane seat.
Lesson learned. Make sure you talk to the guy you're renting from about spare tires. Great car, runs great. We've enjoyed it, but we've got a flat tire and no spare. Oh, and by the way, there is no cell service out here. There is no one to call. It's beautiful, but no cell service. Lessons learned.
Okay, wait for it. Tesla 1, 2, or 3? 3, I think. Now that is one fancy car.
Okay, now in this car, as you're driving it, on this center screen, you can see the speed limit. It will read the speed limit signs, and on the right, you have that speed limit sign, and then this in the center is where you're going. You also have the picture of your Tesla driving on the car with the road, map on the left, battery power on the bottom left, along with your gear that you're in, and you can see the little cars off in the distance as the car reads them. As you see over here on the left, if there's a steering wheel, that means that it is good to do full self-driving, and 45, that is your regular cruise control settings. So once you have both of those and you want to initiate the self-driving mode, on the column over here, there's a little cruise control button. You double tap that button towards you. It's going to beep and chime. When it does that, it is now initiated full self-driving. Notice at the bottom it says, please keep your hands on the steering wheel. You're supposed to be attentive and watching the road at all times. I've been driving like this, so I can give a little bit of input. For the most part, I'm just letting it drive by itself right now. You can also adjust the car length of between you and the next car. So I've been sitting at 7 car lengths. That gives me enough time. So not that I don't trust it yet, but if they slam on the brakes, I have time to react. But you can adjust that depending, and that'll get you closer or further away from the car. And you can also adjust your speed with this. So 45, on a full autopilot, it'll let you do 5 above the speed limit, so I can set it to 50. And notice, even though it is 50 right now, it's keeping us at 44 because of that car that's up there in the distance. Now, anytime you hit the brake, it's going to cancel full self-driving, or if you kind of jerk the steering wheel a little bit, it's going to turn that off. But you can go ahead and use the gas pedal, and it'll adjust you to a new speed limit, but once you take your foot off, it'll just lower you back down to that speed limit you have set. Now you see they're braking. It's noticing that we're getting close to them, so it's slowing the car down by itself. I'm not doing the gas or the steering wheel or the brake or anything. It's just doing it fully by itself. Now we have a turn. You can see it's going to start turning the car for us, and I've got my steering with my hands right here the whole time, so if something goes wrong, we could change what's going on and make sure everything's good.
Okay, so here's the frunk on Tesla number 3. So we'll give you a quick picture of it, and then we'll talk about what happened with it. All right, Cindy's got the door. Hey, it's a push button door. That's all right. And it closes touchless. Gotta love it. Okay, we'll say goodbye to that second door, I think. There it goes. Now, this Tesla, that's pretty fancy stuff. And the deal is, remember we had that flat tire? Well, the deal is, Bryce, do Teslas have spare tires?
No, we learned that they do not have spare tires.
And we were in the middle of nowhere, so
as we were driving from Bozeman over to West Yellowstone, we were going through Big Sky, and just as we were driving down the road, we started getting alarmed that one of our tires was going low, and then immediately it came up that it was flat. So we pull over as fast as possible on the side of the road. We started looking for a spare tire, going through the manual looking for the spare tire, and we cannot find a spare tire anywhere. Also, we had no cell service at this point, so we started walking around trying to get cell service, and we couldn't find anything, but eventually we found somebody who was waiting in the water who had a Garmin GPS that you could actually text on. So we got him to text the guy that we rented the car from, asking for the spare tire, and in the meantime, he drove us up to the city that was 2 miles away. Once we got to the city, I called and talked to the guy on the phone, and eventually we decided that he was going to call, talk to Turo, see what they had to do for us, and at that point they were going to have to come bring us a tire. They couldn't find somebody to do that, so they ended up towing the car, and he brought us a new one. So after waiting for 4 hours, we finally got the new Tesla. He showed up. There was no cell signal there. He brought a Starlink. We couldn't get that connected, so all of us with him and his son drove to West Yellowstone to get a new car and get everything figured out. So we got there, started talking to the Turbo people, and at that point we decided to switch to the new car he bought us, but that car had been booked out on Monday, so he couldn't give that one to us. So he had driven the Model X and let us rent that for the same cost for the rest of the couple of days.
all right, so we just want to take a moment and give it a shout out to Art, because that was a lot of problem solving. First of all, Bryce and Sydney did great problem solving on the trip, and then when Art came to us, he actually went out of his way to drive the it was probably where we were well over an hour to get to us, and then he drove us to West Yellowstone, and then from West Yellowstone back to Billings. So he went out of his way to take care of us. So shout out to Art, who rented or who we rented to from Turo, and there we go. Pretty fly mobile, huh? It's like Back to the Future, but now.
So this one is the Tesla Model X. These come with an actual key fob. You saw the other one had a card for your key. This one's got a little key fob, and on that key fob you can open the trunk by double tapping the back side. And that's going to open up for you. You can open the sides by double tapping the sides. And then also the driver's side, if you've got this in your pocket and you walk up to it, should open up for you. And it will actually, sometimes I haven't figured it out, but sometimes it'll actually open up all the way, sometimes it partially opens. But then when you get inside, you just need to tap that brake pedal and it'll close this door for you.
That seems like a good safety feature to me, especially for you know, folks that are late at night or whatever, and you're trying to get in your car quickly. That'll get you in and get it closed up fast and safe.
You can also close all of these by double tapping.
Oh, boom, boom, boom. I will say, when you're sitting in the back seat and those doors close down, it's kind of like being in a ride at Disney World. It's like you're getting entrapped. It's kind of fun.
Now we also have access to the front on this key, and you can also do all of this on the screen by tapping it. But inside the front, you've got extra storage. There's charging cables, and you can kind of just use this whatever.
Oh, and look, we picked up a little
little spider
A
thing.
spider friend thing. I don't know, but this is the trunk in the front, also known the
Frunk.
And boom. Boom.
Now inside with the Model X, you get a nice screen right here in front of the steering wheel. Some of the controls are a little bit different, but your cruise control over here, your gear shifter up here, windshield wipers on the side over here, pretty traditional. But on this display, if you're using a map, it'll show you exactly where you're going over here. You got a picture of the car, and then you'll get 2 lanes right here, and it'll show the dotted lane in the middle of the side lane and show you cars and stuff as you come up. On this gigantic, fantastic looking touchscreen, we've got Vienna White over here showing it to us. We've got the map in which you just plug into where you want to go, hit go, start driving, and this thing will take you there. Lots of different options for entertainment in this car. We've got Spotify, Bluetooth, you've got Netflix and stuff. You can't do that while you're driving, but just while you're sitting there, you've got games, title music, toy box, anything you can think of. There's carpool karaoke, which we had a blast with. It's not going to load right now because the car does not have any signal because we're in the park. Inside this, we've got all kinds of different settings. From right here, you can also open all the doors by touching these buttons. Display brightness, your exterior lights. You can adjust pedal steering for different users. You can actually change the suspension of this car for how low it is off the ground. So if you want to be a little sporty, you can adjust the low or very low. And I believe it's going to be more comfortable if you go up to the higher one. You also have dampening settings over here, which is going to be how firm the car is driving, how soft it is, and how the handling is. You can also get a bunch of stats about charging. Right now we have 124 miles left on this car, and you can set different schedules for if you want to charge at night, or you can charge current at this location. You can say what the amperage is of what you're getting. Autopilot settings, this one does have the full self-driving, which is an extra $12,000 on top of the car or monthly subscription, but you can adjust all these settings in here. It also has the traffic light, stop control, full self-driving, visualizer preview, and summon, which is also in beta. I believe you have to have the app for that, which we do not have. Vehicle, you can adjust the height of the Falcon doors in the back to how hard they raise up or if they're going to smack into things that are nearby. Walk away door lock, if you walk away from it with the key, it's going to lock those doors for you, which would be kind of nice. I just saw that. You can also auto wipers beta, so if it starts raining, those things are going to turn on for you, and car left open notifications, so you will get all kinds of notification stuff from this car. Light control, display settings for the screen, what language that it'll talk to you in, your trip settings, it'll show you how the trips are going, how much energy you're using, navigation settings, safety, services. Now this car, if it has an issue, it will go ahead and contact you in the app and ask you if you want to basically schedule service for it. You can do all of that here, and you can put it in towing mode, factory reset the car, wheel configuration, camera calibration, all kinds of stuff you can change. Software updates, if it's connected to the internet, it will automatically update as you need, so you can get the latest and greatest software from Tesla, and you can also purchase other upgrades. That would be like the self-driving, which you can buy after the fact. Moving on to the AC, we have not been driving with the AC a whole lot because we found that it was going to drain our battery more, so we've just been rolling with the windows down, which it's felt great, so we don't care. But right now it's kind of hot outside and we're headed back to charge, so we are changing that temperature. You get dual climate control. This one's actually got vents on it, so you can move these guys around. Every seat is a heated seat, heated steering wheel in this car. You've got dog mode, camp mode. Camp mode basically will just, I think it just said it would just turn the climate really low and just run it until the battery gets to a certain percentage. But this has also got the little I don't really know the name of it, but the biohazard mode, and it will have a complete locked-in air system within the car, so you're not bringing in extra air if there's something that you don't want to breathe in. Looks like you can also schedule your AC. Don't know about that, but seems kind of cool. I'm going to turn this guy off because I think it's probably going to use extra battery powered. Okay. We also have the passenger glove department. There's actually a physical button on this one. I'm sure there's another one in the screen too, but all kind of storage in there. And are we missing anything else? The hazard lights on this car are right here. When we got that flat tire on the other car, we could not find the hazards. So on the Model Y, it is going to be up here, which brings me to another point. Look at this massive mirror, this thing, or window. This thing is huge. It's beautiful. There was a sunroof right here, a little mesh cloth thing. We took that off so we could get a better view of the mountains and everything, but there's an option for that. And you've got your tiny little mirror right here and sun visor. Very futuristic looking. And tons of storage. Although, Mom and Dad have found a complaint in the back.
One of my complaints is this seatbelt, when you put it on, it straps right across your neck. And I feel like that it could at least have an adjuster or something. And the other one, Doug, is?
No cup holders back here.
No cup holders in the back. That was a pain.
But you guys also have a little sunroof, which is kind of cool over you.
Yes, we do. One on both sides, sun, moon roof. That's really nice. It's lots of space in the back, so we're very comfortable. Lots of knee room, lots of space. Width-wise, you could easily fit 3 people here. It has air conditions on the panels here on the left and the right, and then panels here in the center, so you're getting air from the center and the sides, and also we get air from underneath the front seats. Oh, and guess what? The back seats are also heated seats.
And we used those yesterday when it was 45 degrees outside. My favorite part, personally, was the autopilot driving to the park. That was really helpful. I could turn that on, and I'm still paying attention, but you can still kind of look around, look for animals, and kind of have fun. And it'll adjust to the speed limits.
So, Bryce, overall, what was your experience with Turo?
Turo, I thought it was super helpful. Art, I guess it kind of depends on who you're actually renting from, but it was nice. They had spaces at the airport. You didn't have to wait in the lines. You walked out to the car. The GPS in the app allowed you to open the door in the car, and the key was inside the glove box of the car. That was also very helpful. The one thing that was annoying was when we had the issue with the flat tire. Art brought us out a car, and there was an issue with, it was like a premium car, but I had originally not purchased a premium car, so they couldn't just do a swap. So then I had to cancel my order, get a refund, subscribe to a new car, and they were a little difficult to work. Not Art, but Turo actually was difficult, because he was more than willing to let me rent that car from him. So once we figured all that stuff out, which it honestly, the whole ordeal probably took being on the phone for 20 or 30 minutes. It was great. It was good. So far, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, and one quick thing for folks who don't know, what exactly is Turo?
Turo, think of it as the Airbnb for cars. So basically, there's an app. You can go on the app, search where you would like to rent a car, what kind of car, if you want electric, hybrid, gasoline, truck, you can search it all. Of course, I started looking up Teslas. But if you get the electric car, make sure you know where chargers are, and you'll actually have opportunities to charge those cars before you start driving around the park. But once you go on there, you can purchase your car for how many days you want. There's a Turo fee on top of it, which is 10% of your rental, I believe. And then also keep in mind, if you're getting it from an airport like we did, there was also an airport fee. But if you were to pick it up at a Target and they had it delivered to Target, there's not an extra fee for that unless they have a delivery fee from the actual vendor of the car. But for us, it was a free delivery, just an airport fee from the airport.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, once you get to a Tesla supercharger, you just park your car up. If you go to back it in, it'll back it in for you. Grab your charger. There's a little button on top. Push that button, put it towards the little port. It'll pop open. While you have that button pushed, firmly push it in there, let go of the button. It'll lock that port for you. Now to unlock the port when you're done, you've got to hop in the car and then you can check it. But then if you walk up, open the car up, you can see what the charging looks like. Now to go all the way to 100%, it says it's going to take an hour right now, but we're going to go grab some lunch, come back, and then depending on where it's at, we're going to drive over to Bozeman. So what'd you think about the Tesla? The Model Y? The Model X? Is it worth it? Would you do it in the park? Let us know in the comments what you think and if you would take it on this trip.
Hey, please come on back and join us for our next adventure where we'll go into Yellowstone Park. We'll show you some animals, some hot pots, and some absolutely stunning views.